Hello, this is Professor Puranjay, and today we are going to discuss a topic on who can become an astrologer. Actually, this is a very important topic in astrology, as to it is very necessary that if you have decided to get into astrology, you should know what your strength and weaknesses is. Only by that it will be able to derive like whether you can be an astrologer or not. If you take in Vedic astrology, there is a specific understanding that if Jupiter or Moon falls in the first house, which is the house of the ascendant, or the fifth house, which is your past, and the ninth house, which is your future, any of this planet, either Jupiter or Moon, in the first house, fifth house, or ninth house, or just Jupiter or just Moon, if that falls in the first house, fifth house, or the ninth house, then this particular Jataka can become an astrologer. This is an understanding in astrology. However, on the other hand, if indirectly, if the aspect of either Moon or Jupiter is falling on these houses, still the person has got an ability to become an astrologer. Now, this is the understanding that we get in astrology. I'm just saying this on a topology. But having said so, there are many other factors also that is related that could make you an astrologer. That is basically it is the Rahu Ketu axis, basically where the Ketu is sitting, because Ketu is signifying your past life karmas. So, in order to become an astrologer, it is very necessary that your past life karma has to be, in sync, so that you could become an astrologer in this present life. Basically, it's like saying that when the Ketu is sitting in a specific house, that specific house is giving a signification like how your past life was, because Ketu is like a dhwaja, it's a flag. So the why we say it's a flag is because it is carrying all the information of your previous life deeds. When I say previous life deeds, means it is a whole bunch of the previous life that you had, right from you came out of the earth, and you became you lived like worms, and then you transformed yourself into fish, amphibian, birds, animal, and like that. So this 84 lakh yoni, the journey of moving from one life to other, like in Vedic astrology, in the Puranas it is said that we have passed about 84 lakh yonis to come to this human form. So this plus all those past lives that you survived as a human being, so this is the track record that the Ketu is holding. So this is the reason why Ketu is known as the dhwaja, the flag holder. So the past, so by looking at the Ketu, and if we read it very well closely, very deeply, we will come to know whether this person can become an astrologer. Now, this is how we look in the astrological point of view. However, there are many other aspects also. I'm not covering all that, because I'm just giving this as a short description. We can talk about this later, because if I speak about it right now, it will be very difficult for you to understand for the layman people. So, which is why I'm keeping it as simple as possible. So, like I said, Jupiter and Moon plays a very important role to see if we could become an astrologer or not. Now, why Moon and Jupiter? because moon is basically your mind and Jupiter is the intelligence, the knowledge. So because of this reason, the moon and Jupiter has to be very well looked after to in order for to know if you can become an astrologer or not. The moon should be sitting in a very good place, and it is very necessary. The moon is not aspected by any cruel planet, or it is not in depression or anything. Secondly, the Jupiter also is it should have a very strong influence. Only if this is the case, then the person can become a very good astrologer. Secondly, in astrology, it is also seen that the ninth house, basically, which is the house of dharma, is also sitting in a very, I mean, it's also in, it's quite strong. It is having a very good vibration, so this will also be playing a very critical factor, the ninth house, because ninth house being the house of father, it is also about dharma. It is about dharma is basically ethics, the code of conduct, and there are many much such aspects. So the ninth house should have a very strong influence, because astrology is more about it is about not breaking the protocol. You got to be a very disciplined person. Astrology is about giving the right prediction with honesty and sincerity and everything. So the ninth house is basically dealing with all such matters. So the ninth house has to be in a very good position in order to become a good astrologer. Um, Also, in astrology, it is seen that the basic requirement to be an astrologer is that the person should have a very good intuition power. He should have a very good perception, and he should be having a very good gut feeling. So all these three factors are the combined reason. And this I'm telling on a psychic point of view. Apart from astrology, this is the psychic point of view, that this is the basic requirements of an astrologer, because without intuition, without a very good perception level, without a gut feeling, you will not be able to predict, because astrology is a science of prediction. It is basically more about predicting, because right now in this right now in this scenario, what we see is that many of the astrologers, they just rely on maths, all the mathematical calculation. But it is more about believing your gut feeling and intuition, based upon which the mathematical calculations, everything is just strengthening, or it is just giving a foundation to your prediction. So this is the problem right now. What I see in this present generation is that more reliance on maths, and that is the reason why they take a long time to predict, or the prediction gets somewhat haywire if the mathematical calculation is not proper. So how do you become intuitive, and how do you have a very good gut feeling, is that you got to be keeping everything very simple and easy. Astrology will be very very interesting. Astrology will be very very a catchy, or a very good topic only when you keep it very simple, rather than keeping it complicated. The more complicated you keep it, I'm very sure that you will be quite far away from prediction. And this is the reason why many of the people are not able to predict it properly, because of the reliance on maths, which if you go, it is going to be somewhat difficult. So uh, you should have a very good intuition power. Intuition power comes when you are looking at the jataka, and you are seeing that if a sun is placed in, let's say, in the ninth house, in a specific zodiac, you have to clearly understand what the sun is deriving from that place. So you have to understand the vibration of the sun and the vibration of that ninth house in order to come to a predictive analysis. Now when I do this predictive analysis, after that the mathematical calculation, like I'm looking at the amsha or the degree of the sun, and by that, I come to know, like what strength is that sun holding in that particular house. So this is what you have to understand. Like the more you can just look at it, when you observe the sun placed in the ninth house, what all you can derive out of it is your intuition, by which you are actually strengthening, or you are able to actually decipher or decode the sun to an extent that you can understand the personality and the psyche of that jataka. The mathematical calculation, like looking at the Shadvargas and the Ashtagvarga chakra and all that, these are very I mean, for layman terms, you will not understand all this, but all this various calculations are only meant to get your predictive analysis to a precision. That is the significance of maths. Other than that, it is all about prediction, which is why astrology is known as the science of predictions. It is about honing your intuition, your gut feelings. If you need to have a very good gut feeling, the thing is that you should not be afraid. The moment you are afraid, astrology goes away. So you should never be a coward. This is the very important point, in order to become an astrologer. Now let's say there is a person, who has not got his moon or Jupiter in the first, fifth and the ninth house. So can't he become an astrologer? If he has, if he wants to become an astrologer, there are many people who are just interested in becoming an astrologer. That is, they take this, I mean, as a resolution, or an ambition. So if they can, I mean, if they got a very strong navamsha, this can be seen. There are many such aspects, like if you got the dispositor of the first or the fifth or the ninth house is either Jupiter or moon, and if it's sitting in certain places, from where it is favorable, these are also the factors that you could become an astrologer. The main focal point of you become an astrologer is that right now I see many people, they come and say that they are taking astrology as a part-time course, or it's my hobby. They say that I'm just taking it as a career option and everything. Now let me tell you this, astrology is not that, please, for God's sake. If you're taking this as a part-time hobby, or or just a career course alternative, astrology will never come to you. Because before astrology is granting you that power to predict and everything, even the planets which is up above, and even the, I mean, which is guided by a cosmic force, that's the gods, the Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh and everything. Because astrology, for God's sake, it's a very divine subject. I mean, you should not take it as a part-time course. You should give your mind, body and spirit and everything to it. So if these people are saying that it's just a part-time hobby and everything, let me tell you this, part-time hobby, you can play music or dance or anything, you can do that. But astrology, I'm giving you an assurance, with this mentality. I mean, if you're doing this, I seen many people do this, they say that I'm taking it as a part-time course or a hobby. These people will never ever become an astrologer. So if you are interested in becoming an astrologer, if you're saying that yes, I am having that dedication, I want to be an astrologer, I will put my everything to it. Because astrology is all about the 3D, which is the determination, dedication and the discipline. I mean, it's like if you're thinking it's just about a course, like medical or engineering, let me tell you this, because astrology is not a course, for God's sake. Because it's a huge ocean. I mean, when I'm saying ocean, it's not the Pacific or the Indian Ocean, okay? The ocean, what I'm saying, is the whole galaxy and the gamut of galaxies, that is the ocean. Okay, so this is an infinite depth, where the ocean, what you see on earth is just nothing. It is just a minuscule of the ocean, the Mahasamudra that you see on the cosmic arena, because astrology is all about the study of the sky. It's all about astronomy. Astronomy is just a base, but after that, it is just like an input. Astrology is an output, like what you make out after studying the sky. So, you have to give your everything to it, else this is not coming to you. So please, if you are interested in becoming an astrologer, the main focal point is that you should give your everything to it. There has been many, I seen many charts, they got their moon, Jupiter and everything in that one first, fifth and ninth house, yet they are not interested in astrology and everything. But that is because of their past life karmas and everything, or else they are not interested. So just by looking at that, it doesn't derive. So what is the main focal point? If you got a very good intuitions, if you think you are having it, or if you think of honing your intuition skills, your predictive analysis, if you don't have it and if you're curious enough to understand it, astrology is one of the best thing. The main reason, now let me come to the general reasoning of if you want to become an astrologer and how you got to go about it, is that if you have the curiosity levels in you, if you are as curious as an infant, the newborn, if you look at the baby, the baby is always observing. They will just keep on staring and everything. They're just looking at, because their mind is empty. Now they are filling it with information, just by observing what is happening, everything, around that corner. So they are always curious. If you have that curiosity level like a baby, astrology is for you. If you are having that detective instincts like Sherlock Holmes, or let's say any, you are interested in solving any mysterious cases, like how a detective do it, or how our investigation officers do it, astrology is meant for you. Because astrology is about everything. I'm not saying it's just about science or maths. No, it is having a lot of science and maths in it, but it is, any subject on this planet, if you could take it, whether that be music, arts, martial arts, medical science, trigonometry, geometry, algebra, engineering, why to say, this IT, everything, you just take everything, even artificial intelligence, banking, agriculture, what all, all those subjects, which I don't even know, or you don't even know, that exists or not, or it's quite subtle. Everything is related with astrology, and an astrologer is the one who scrutinizes all this, So you understand as an astrologer what you hold. You hold a whole gamut of information. All this information is in your hands as an astrologer. So, astrologer is not just a one who is predicting the life of a person or anything, but he is having a whole galaxy of information. So this is your infinite power that you hold of all the subject that was there, and of all those subjects that will come in the future, is all related with astrology. Everything is connected with astrology, and the astrology is connected to the Vedas. So you have to understand how this chronology of the matter is. So an astrologer has got a very huge infinite power once if he is able to decode this complex calculation of the cosmic arena. He has a great power in his hand. He will be able to predict a person's life, because astrology is not just about predicting a person's life, it is all about seeing through the whole scenario, like how the country is going through in this particular year, or what will happen 5 years from now, or if they can predict if there could be cyclone or earthquake or whatever They could see the financial condition, or they could also see if the nation is going to get attacked by the enemy nation or not. So they can give us uh, uh, pre-warning, like this will happen, so that it is like prevention is better than cure. And that happens with astrology. This is exactly the reason why during the Vedic times, before invasion and everything, even the kings used to take the advice from the astrologers, and then they used to go about doing the work and everything. So all those important decisions that was needed was always consulted by an astrologer. So astrology, please, if you think it is a very small thing, if it's a part-time hobby or anything, so I would suggest, please don't come. I mean, astrology will never ever come to you, because even the planets up there is seeing what is your interest, and if that is happening, only then the planets will help you. Because astrology is all about gochar. Gochar means go is the bhumi, which is gol akar, okay, and char means movable. It is that means the movement. It is all about the study of the movement of the planet, the transit of the planet. That is what gochar is all about. Because if the planets, the navagrahas, are not moving from one particular rashi to another, from one nakshatra to another, there is no vibration that is going to cause, by which this earth will be going through a vagaries of different vibrations from the planet, by which the planet adjusts itself. So that vibration can be very good, that vibration can be very bad, the vibration can be neutral. So you have to understand all these parameters, and understanding the parameters is the basic crux of astrology. And that is what an astrologer should know. It is the study of that vibration by which he could do the prediction. Which is why whenever I'm talking, I'm not talking related to BPHs or Jaimini, that comes later. They are the Bible of astrology. But you have to understand what happens, so in how you need to move about it. That is very very important, because if you don't know how to move about it, you will be completely in a confused state of mind. Because in astrology there are many calculations, believe me, many calculations. There are about 60 charts, and then there are other charts also, which is basically related with this charts. Now what is this charts? If you could look at that, if you don't know, as a layman you will get complicated. That is why I'm not trying to confuse you with all this big terminologies. The only thing is that these charts are only giving precision to your predictions, which is the D1. Everything is related with the D1. All these charts, anything, Ashtag Varga, Shad Bala, this what do you say, the Navamsha, and likewise, all these charts, they are just giving a precision to your D1, which is your Lagna chart. That's it. Everything is coming out, derived out of the D1. So it is, I mean, if we keep it very simple, so you will be very capable of reading it. Now what it is about reading it, and now you got the Google map, so how you read that, the same way you have to apply the same analysis of reading the Kundali chart. Kundali chart becomes very interesting only if you understand exactly what is happening when that specific planetary placement in the specific houses. Once if you understand that, you will understand the personality of the Jataka, and what happens, when it is moving from, let's say, July to August, August to September, December, November, and everything. So because the thing is that the D1 is your Lagna chart, which was the placement of planetary position at the time of your birth, which will stay till the time you are dying, okay, which is very very static. The D1 is always static. Now there is something called as the Chara chart, the transit chart, which I say. I'm not able to get the Hindi uh, terminology. Let's say the transit chart, which is right now at this time, the planet is in specific houses. So I have to just compare that chart with your Lagna chart in order to understand what is happening with you right now. This is by this, comes the science of prediction. So this is all about analysis. So what so analysis is all about, you are collecting a lot of information, you're putting it in a particular sector or a sect, and then you are studying it in order to come to a specific decision. So this is what logistic people do. So the people who are quite strong with logistics can become an astrologer. Okay. Secondly, what is it? It is all about investigation. Now, how come the investigation is coming? After you get this data of information, okay, from the logistics and everything, you try to understand the science of that specific data that you are having. You are computing it by putting many assumptions to it. Let's say like this, or let's say like that, what will happen like this. You see what is strong, you try to analyze it, you crisscross it, you come back and forward, and that is what is happening always in an investigation. What is an investigation officer doing? He suspects everyone. So an astrologer becomes an investigation officer, like a crime branch officer, or let's say a detective like Sherlock Holmes. Okay. So this is there. And now once if I'm getting that strong prediction, after that, now what? So here it is like a consultant, a counselor, or let's say a doctor, so here I am getting this predictive analysis now, because I have to come to a solution towards this specific problem. So here I'm more about consulting him, where I am trying to change the Jataka's way of thinking in order to prevent him from the danger that he is going to adhere to. So here I am becoming a counselor, a guide, a doctor, a psychiatrist, a sociologist. So see the vagaries of different sects that an astrologer is belonging to. He is everywhere. In short, he is an all-rounder. In short, he is a self-explorer, and he has to keep exploring. This is the basic crux of astrology. So please understand this. This is what is required right now. We are living in a life, which is very pacey right now. Something we are going through something that is new. We will be going through something that is going to come new in future. You just don't know. So astrology is always there to know this change. And the person who could understand and study this change has got the whole capability of becoming an astrologer. Gone are the days, when there was a specific family only who could do astrology and everything. That was the purpose, and it was there. But that doesn't mean the other person who has got a very good, strong predictive capability, who has got a very good intuition level, who could really judge a person, he can't do it. It's not like that. He can definitely do that. I on basic, and I don't come from the family of astrologer. I had this great dedication towards astrology. I said that I just want to learn it. I want to do this predictive analysis. I love to do that, and I want to know the person's life. I would like to change his way of thinking pattern or his life just by giving my guidance and everything. I took this in my stride, and that's how I became an astrologer. So if you have this, and I gave a lot of time to it. It's through a very good dedication. I followed everything. To understand what the planet is, and I took the pains to know it, and that's how I'm doing right now as an astrologer. So I would wish, and I mean, so for God's sake, please don't take this as a part-time hobby, because if that is happening, even if you have the capability, it is not going to come in. And secondly, astrology is all about the study of planets. Okay, so don't take this very lightly, because planets have got great power. So once if you're learning astrology, the planets up there is knowing that you're doing it, so they will also test you, and I'm not joking about it. So in any case, if they think that you are crossing the barrier or the limits, these planets are going to punish you. So as a astrologer, you got a whole bunch of power in your hands, which is why I'm saying, keep it simple and don't be a coward. When I say don't be a coward, don't take it lightly that it's just a small thing that I said. It holds a lot of meaning. Now you have to understand what that means, which is why I'm not saying anything, but if you are intelligent enough to understand this, you will surely follow me. And this is what I want. I'm not looking for any quantity. I'm looking for a quality person who could understand me. Only then I will be able to teach you what is astrology. So I wish you the best of luck. And I'm not the person who goes into the conventional means also. I go into my way of understanding it. Okay, so yes, there are certain books. There are books written by Bangalore Venkatraman, which are very good. You will find it on the internet, or you can download it from Amazon. The BPHS is there. Jaimini Sutra is there. These are the certain books, that is very, very important in order to learn astrology. But the basic crux is your intuition, your intuition, your perception levels, followed by your gut feelings. The gut feeling is very necessary, because whenever it comes to taking a risk, the gut feeling matters the most. That is what gives you courage. And courage doesn't come like that. It comes with great sacrifices, which is the 3D. So I wish you the best of luck, and stay connected with me. Do subscribe to me and do follow me. If you find this interesting, I'll be coming with many other video clips in order for us to meet and talk about astrology. Thank you very much.